You can see there on the radar behind me, boy, it's just been lighting up as we've gone through the day today, but those storms are starting to wind down finally. This morning, though, they dumped some serious rain. This video was from West 7th Street in Fort Worth. That's not wise right there. You've heard us say it many times before. If you see high water like this, it is best to not drive through it because it can be dangerous to you and certainly not good for your automobile either. Check out the video from the Balch Springs area today. Firefighters there having to actually go into some homes and pull people out. Look at it, they're almost up to their waists there. That's how fast the water started rising this afternoon, just trapping some people in their homes. You can see that little pet being carried to safety too by that woman there. It's not just homes either. Several cars had to be abandoned on major highways today. This is on I-30 just south of downtown Dallas. You can see that standing water there. Our photojournalist Justin Fuller also recorded this video of cars that were stranded near Peak and Roseland Streets in East Dallas. People just deciding it was coming up too fast. They got in too deep and they just got out of there. And we just got to look at some of the damage from the air. This is in Seagoville. You can see vehicles underwater there as well and crews having to rescue people from their homes there too. We saw some first responders carrying 2 children to safety. Also people grabbing what they could as their homes filled with water. We just saw that image a moment ago. Somebody carrying a bag of belongings and a pet. We've been seeing that in several places today. Here is a live look now from HD Chopper 8, still over that scene in Seagoville, where as you can see, people are being shepherded away from the places that they call home. A lot of those places just waterlogged right now, or it's just hard to get out. You can't even discern where the street begins and ends. And so first responders have been busy out there all day long today. Again, thankfully that radar starting to quiet down a little bit because we got it so fast here, Kyle. You know, you've said it for weeks that, we've been in drought, and that oftentimes it ends with flooding. And here we are.
Yep, droughts have a tendency to end in floods here in North Texas for sure. 12 to 15 inches of rain potentially in parts of kind of eastern Dallas County from the storms.
Stunning amount.
In less than 24 hours in most of those places. You know,
we were talking about this not long ago where you were saying to bust the drought here, you would need 12 to 15 inches of rain. And that sounded like an absurd amount of precipitation. And here it's happened in a day in some
for an entire
places.
month.
Yeah.
And we just got it in 24 hours, basically. Crazy. Will this completely end the drought in all of North Texas? No. But will it make a really big dent in the drought in quite a few places? Yeah, that's certainly possible, and we desperately needed that. It's just unfortunate that it fell so heavily so quickly, and we saw the problems that caused. But the good news at this hour is look at that radar. Not a whole lot going on in and around DFW. There's some lingering showers, yes, and there will continue to be some passing light showers, maybe a little light rain happening the rest of the afternoon into the evening hours, but nothing heavy enough to cause additional flooding. Of course, you just saw those live shots from Seagoville. The high water will remain until it can slowly recede, but I don't see any additional flooding due to the fact that we're going to get more rounds of heavy rain. That has come to a close, at least across DFW. It's now shifted well down into central Texas, over into East Texas. Yes, there could be a little light rain falling here or there over the next several hours, but I'm not calling for what we saw last night into this morning at all. Not only today, but also over the next couple days as well. Look at some of these totals. Southeast Dallas, potentially over 15 inches of rain. Balch Springs, where there was a lot of problems, over 12 inches of rain, so a foot of rain falling in Balch Springs. Garrett Park, which is in East Dallas, over 10 inches of rain. Fort Worth picked up 9.5. Fort Worth had a lot of that rain kind of during the early nighttime hours last night and then picked up more last night into this morning. And then the big airport, over 9 inches of rain out at DFW Airport. In fact, one of the rainiest 24-hour periods ever observed out at DFW Airport. Here's some other totals from across the area. Collin County, unfortunately, kind of the loser in all this. I mean, you don't want the flooding, of course, but less than an inch of rain in McKinney, but in Denton, well over 2 inches. Cleburne picked up over 7. Terrell over 6 inches of rain. Canton over 6 inches of rain. Waxahachie over 4 inches of rain. So it wasn't 15 inches all over the area. It's not going to completely end the drought, but it was really going to help us out. As we head into the rest of the afternoon and evening, a little spotty rain possible, and as we head into overnight tonight as well, your commute tomorrow much more manageable than what we were dealing with today. But of course, this rest of today into tonight and tomorrow, watch out for the lingering high water in places because it's going to take a while for some of that to recede. So additional flooding, like where, additional spots become flooded, highly unlikely. But we're going to be dealing with some residual flooding this evening and into the overnight hours, but during the day tomorrow and into Wednesday, I don't see any additional problems at all, even though I do have a little bit more rain in my forecast.